Good morning, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Dioramas. I am your host, TechChucker. If you're not familiar with how this show operates, every week I go through Instagram looking for the coolest looking dioramas, and I showcase them right here on the show. If you would like to be showcased in a future episode, all you need to do is upload your diorama pictures to Instagram and tag them with the hashtag ThisweekinDioramas. Now, we've got an amazing showcase of dioramas lined up for you this week. Unfortunately, I was supposed to have a guest. In fact, I even recorded the episode with the guest. When I got to start editing it, I discovered there was a technical issue with the audio, and it wasn't recoverable. I'm still so disappointed. I guess that's what happens when you're kind of new to trying to do this and you don't know all the ins and outs of the technology. So we're going to have a classic This Week in Dioramas episode where I'm just going to go through dioramas, catch up a little bit on the dios that I missed over the last couple of weeks because we've been doing a lot less with having the guest series. So we're just going to jump right on into it and enjoy. All right, let's get this show on the road. One of the benefits of having the technical difficulty with my recent guest is we can go through so many more dioramas because we have more time, and I realized there is a lot of dios that I missed, and even picking through for this showcase, I still missed a ton. So let's jump right on into it. First with Badger Dio, this subway station diorama is... I don't know, it's just kind of mind-blowing, especially the way that you presented it. I absolutely love this picture. It's just so cool. This is one that my guest and I were talking about, and unfortunately, technical difficulties, so I'm just going to go ahead and talk about it so it does not get lost in the mix. I love the intricacy of all of these tiles that were hand cut. That's a lot of work. If you think about doing brickwork, a lot of folks hate brickwork. This is basically double the cuts because these are square versus the rectangle, and they're so perfectly done. I love the weathering on these tiles. You did a great job, and again, this picture is superb. The only thing is most subway stations do not have this clean of a floor. So at some point, whoever winds up with this thing, because it is sold, is going to need to throw some debris on that floor, because unless this is like in the affluent area, this subway station, it's still going to be dirty. So, but that's not a knock against the diorama at all. Absolutely love the piece. I love the fact that you've got the little light up here, which really helps with the ambiance in the piece itself. And you can see that it looks like there is hallways going back and forth. So even though this isn't a huge piece, it makes it look expansive by providing that little bit of extra what's behind there or what's around the corner. So great job on this piece. Next, coming from Time Capsule Scratch Builder, this piece is so amazing. It's so tiny and so detailed, and if you don't recognize it, we'll take a closer look, but this is the set from The Big Bang Theory, and I'm just blown away at the details on this. And there's a picture with their hand in there so you can see the scale of it, because it is epically tiny at a 1/34th scale. It's insane, the details. All of this looks to be hand carved. It's awesome. So this is going to be, I believe, a gift. Yes, its purpose as a birthday gift, and how amazing all of the details with the props and what have you, the paint colors, everything down to every last detail is there. And see, look at, there's the hand. This is just spectacular. You can see it looks like they've cut some sort of plexiglass or whatever to match the wall structure. This is an epic piece. I'm just blown away at the details of this. How long did it take you to make it? Because it is absolutely stunning. Wow, amazing job. Next, coming from Joker_laugh is a Joker diorama. That makes sense. This piece is so cool. I just love it. Now, it has a bit of a simple feel to it, but that's one of the things that I love about it is the simplicity of this display. It is definitely a displayer's piece, something that's going to go up on the shelf and look amazing. I love that it's turning so that you can see all the details with the fish or the Joker fish. We've got dynamite all over the place. We've got cool little props. And then the best part about this is the fact that you use the little children's blocks to spell out Joker and title the piece, which is awesome. I love the way this turned out. The color palette is amazing. So awesome job on this. Next, coming from Top Innovations, and actually I don't know who the creator is. We'll let the video play. Let's see, follow engineering Gaggle for more information. They don't know the source, so if you know who it is that built this, these are the sorts of models that I just am mesmerized by, because you can see through this video they're actually building this model building using, for the most part, real construction methods. Individual bricks with mortar, pouring some sort of concrete material. It's just stunning work to see. Laying down miniature little tiles, all of that spackle, grout. It's just crazy to see the detail on here, and I don't necessarily know the overall purpose other than this might just be for a model presentation for a future real building build, but it's just so stunning to see the work that was put into this. You know, you don't necessarily have to do all of this structural stuff when it comes to a diorama, because most of it's covered, you can see. So I really want to know what this is for, who did it, because it is so cool. I absolutely dig it. Next, coming from Fanorama, their last story, Deseronto Art Show. This piece is stunning. I'm just blown away at the detail work on this piece. It's two rundown, abandoned, apocalypse-style buildings, and it's just wow, the details, the weathering, it's just so good looking. I absolutely love this piece. I'd love to know what scale it is. I'd love to know, I just need to know more about it, because it is absolutely breathtaking and looks to be, we've got another I don't know, this might be like nuclear fallout, and this is another nuclear bomb or something coming in, it looks like. I don't know. It's so cool. I love it. Great job. The foliage. I love it. This one's coming from Freda0204. This is a really cool looking piece right now. He's got Zelda Link in there, and I love this. The paintwork, you can see some really nice paint tones on the columns here and up on the archway. Just a lot of great little details. Then for the artistic touch, the flower, and it almost looks like a lily pad, but I don't think it is. I just really dig on this piece. He's knocking out some really great pieces very quickly, for the sole purpose of being able to take pictures and whatnot. And I'm just always impressed with your work. The sculpt work on these columns looks to be hand carved. Great job. Next, coming from Diorama Boy, another amazing dio with a 1/12 scale piece, 17 inches wide, 14 inches high, 14 inches deep. It's a little small, dude. You've been doing some really big ones. This one's not so big. No, I'm still very impressed though. This looks awesome. The brickwork, the weathering on the paint, you can see a little bit of shininess to get that water effect, which is awesome. You can add weathered paint, but to get that shininess, there's a couple of different methods that I've heard of. I'm really interested to know what method you use to get that shine on those bricks, because it looks awesome. The accessories, everything is just going together perfectly with this piece. I just can't say enough great things about it. Every bit has awesome detail, great sculpt work with the clean lines, but then you dirtied it all up with the weathering. So another banger of a dio from you. As always, Really digging on it. This one's coming from Death Cabin Customs. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Oh, that made me laugh. A Jaws-inspired diorama, and we've seen a few different Jaws dios, and every time I love them. I always love them. This piece looks awesome. I love the blood that you've got a little bit on the what is it? It's not the bow. Whatever this is, the rail. It looks awesome. I love the woodworking that you've got on here, the extra ropes and details that you've thrown in there. We've got a shark coming out of what seems to be some sort of resinish sort of water. Looks awesome. I love it. And then just the way that you presented it. At first, I didn't think that this was a dio. So you presented it very, very well with the lighting and whatnot, that I thought this was potentially a shot from the movie, and I think it was the first pick. I don't remember what it was, but it took me a second. It took me a second to realize. I'm like, oh yeah, this really is a dio. Great job on this piece. Next, coming from Monster Spinelli, this is a awesome looking piece. I love the details, the books. Each of these, I'm guessing, is handmade. They look awesome. It looks so authentic looking. It's just so cool. And this little bookshelf with the web, basically the web door. Oh, that looks so good. It's so well done. My question, is this some sort of glue that you put on like a wax paper or whatever and made this? How did you make that? Because I'm really interested. It doesn't look like it's 3D printed, because 3D printed, while you can get small, I don't think you'd get that detail. So I'm really interested to know how you made that. The rest of this obviously looks so good. The colors are so rich. I love the little light up there. So great job on this piece. Next, coming from Sama Dioramas, this piece is amazing looking. They have a store, propmasterstore.com. Go check them out. 3D printed items, all sorts of really cool stuff. And they sent me some. I still have the video. I have to update the video a little bit because I got a couple of things wrong. And I missed a couple of things. So I have an unboxing video that's coming very soon. And I'm excited for the work that you guys are doing. And let's see, you know what, we're just gonna say it. They're working with Rhino Dioramas. They liked it right here. So I don't know why I'd need to keep that under wraps. I'll ask, and if they need me to, I will cut this out. But this piece looks amazing. I love the sculpt work with all of this. I assume these little archway pieces are 3D printed. Not sure about these, how you'd be able to 3D print that. So that could be actual weaving that they did, but the color tones on all of this piece are so good. And look how epic this piece is. It is huge. And I said huge weird. Huge. Who says it like that? Apparently I do. Anyway, look at the weathering on these stones. Little bits of water that's been running down, some mildew and what have you. That is great attention to detail, and look at that even closer. That is some stellar paintwork, so great job. Next, coming from Laser Shot Dioramas, this is a Kill Bill commission piece, and wow, this has a lot of stuff going on with it. It looks so good. How amazing would it be to have those Kill Bill figures in front of this, because it looks so great. I love the lighting that you chose for taking the picture. You got the actual lights within the dio, some nicely frosted windows so you could put some lights behind those, and look at this mural. That looks like, I bet did you paint that yourself? It almost looks like it's painted instead of printed. So very well done on this piece. I am digging it a lot. I think you did paint that. Really well done. That is awesome. You know, to go the extra step and paint the mural versus printing it off, and it looks good. You did a good job on it. You're better than good. I think you did a great job on it. So very, very well done on this piece. Next, coming from Fetch Francisco something chart or art, etch art. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, my last diorama for Saint Seiya myth cloth with an illustration they did for that. Wow. I almost passed over this because I thought it was a printout, this background. But it sounds like they actually did this illustration themselves for the background. There's diorama here where it looks to be some sort of volcano sort of piece with a little spot for a figure to stand, and then over here you've got kind of snow covered and then a throne right there, and this is spectacular. If you did the drawing and the coloring on this, that is spectacular work. I, as always, say I don't know anything about Saint Seiya, but holy cow, the details on here, I don't know, these little bluish gems or whatever are super cool. It's so cool. I love the colors, this deep purplish with the lava color. That's just paint. There's not a light underneath that. That's a great effect that you did. I am just really impressed with this piece. I am so glad I didn't pass over it thinking that this was just a printout or whatever. Wow, insane. Okay, next, coming from Styro Smith Dio Arts, is a door. It's an antique fountain work in progress with a door, so the fountain is up here, and just check out the details on this. Now, they hand carve everything, it seems. I don't know if these little legs are hand carved or if this is pieces that they found from somewhere, but their work is always so amazing, and so I always am excited to see what you're coming up with next. Just look at those little door handles. That is stunning work already. So when you are done with this piece, by all means, please tag us so that we can showcase it and see it in its entirety. Here is another doorway. This one's coming from Bambino Dioramas. Good to see you. This is a work in progress. Looks done to me. It looks really good to me. This door, though, is what I really am drawn to, and it's the details on here. It's so cool looking. The panels that you have, the door handles, all of this just looks awesome. You still have that green color, which I love. It looks so good, and it contrasts so nicely with kind of this bluish gray stone that wraps around the door jamb like that, and the steps, everything just looks so cool. So also, when you are done, by all means, please let us know, because this is looking awesome. Next, coming from Joe Dios, this is a Rambo Old Mine Cave for the NECA Rambo action figure. Pretty much complete. Let's see, might add some things here and there. Yeah, pretty much, I don't know if most dio builders are like me, but most of my dios are never actually complete. There's always more that I could add, and that's just the nature of things. You can always add more, but at some point you have to stop. You have to be like, we're gonna call this done, and then pick it up later and add more stuff. This is looking really good. I love the timbers. You weathered them so that they looked kind of craggy or I don't know. I'm going with craggy. That's a good word. You've got some pins here, or like, what would it be? Stakes, nails that they used back in the day. It just looks really, really cool. I like the stonework. It's carved very nicely to actually look like stone. So very well done on this piece. Next, coming from Mr. Skeesler, the Pike Syndicate assumes no responsibility for spice shipments jettisoned by your smugglers once they depart Kessel space. Perhaps, mighty Jabba, you need to get your house in order before we seek alternate partners. I don't know, I'm not very... Anyway, I love this piece. It looks so good. It looks very, very similar to some of the other Jabba throne rooms that we've seen before. I just really like the detail right up here on the arch. Very, very cool looking piece. It's just, yeah, love the little light here. I really recognize this piece. I feel like we've showcased it before. Maybe not. This great floor where basically it goes to the trap door. Looks awesome. There's great detail throughout this piece, so awesome job. This one is coming from Julie Lone. Not sure if I'm saying that right or not. So here, this one's interesting. It's done. It's actually finally done. Been tinkering with this diorama for roughly 2 years. I know how that feels. They call it The Last of the Unicorns, complete with a scratch build Dayglow chandelier, many, many other details. Posts more detail pics. So I'm not sure if this is like a fan created sort of scene or what. It gives the vibe of kind of a Mad Max feel to me. I don't know. I don't know anything about what we're supposed to be looking at for the title or whatever, but I do know the dial looks awesome. I love these walls. They're kind of like a dirt wall cave sort of thing, but I love the fact that you've just cut out so that we could see in, and that is so cool to be able to have that little extra flair to the piece so that it looks like we're just kind of peeking in to something that's supposed to be secret, and being able to see that is so good. I love all of the pieces here. This car is weathered so spectacularly. There's so many great props for what would be a workshop or auto body shop, but stuck inside of a cave. Great job on this piece. I'm just stunned by how well you did this piece. I love it. I love the way that these walls turned out. So incredible. So great job. This one is coming from Saint Seiya Squad, and again, another one of those Saint Seiya pieces. I don't know anything about it, but I love the way that it looks. I love the color palette with the corals on the ground, and it's a throne room sort of piece, and it looks so epic. It looks so good. Again, I go back to the sculpt work and the paint work. It just pops. It draws your eyes in. It's so well done with the sculpting that's up here. I believe those are molded pieces. I'm just amazed. Look at the little seahorse on there, and then this seahorse, but it's being taken over by some coral. So well done. I love it to death. It is so cool looking. It must be Poseidon is my guess. Yeah, Poseidon there. Great job on this piece. And looking at the coral, I don't think this has to be hand carved. It looks so stunning. You've got like the little coral fans or whatever there, and then wow. Wow, what a great looking piece. This one's coming from Diorama District, and this piece just drew my eye, and what I really like about it actually is this empty space. So right now it's in front of a white background, but you could throw a black background in there, or more stuff behind, and the fact that we've got this little alleyway with a little rickety old wooden gate, and it leads to so much anticipation or wonder of what could we have back there for pictures. And then you throw in these walls, which are sculpted so very nicely. It's definitely a building or two buildings that have seen some time, and they've just got so many stories that who knows what has happened in this little area. For some reason, this little manhole has some massive cracking around it. It's just so cool. I really like this piece. They've got several other pictures, and they've posted quite a bit of stuff recently, so if you are looking for some really cool looking stuff, go check out Diorama District. I really dig in on their pieces. This one is coming from Oak Hill Studios, and this is a completely handmade piece, and I have to say, every time I see your work, I'm always blown away at the fun and the detail work that you put into it. It's just the color palette. Anybody that's not familiar with Oak Hill Studios, check them out. They have this massive diorama piece where there's multiple pieces put on. It seems like, I don't know if they continually add more and more stuff to it. It has very much a Halloween sort of medieval feel to it oftentimes, and this medieval piece, it's going to sit under Dracula's castle in their Halloween village. Nothing's 3D printed, like they said. Just a great looking piece, lots of skill. I'm not sure what the scale is, but they're saying still finished. This is a large setup that measures 6 feet wide and 3 feet deep. So like I said, make sure you're following them because they have this massive display, and this is just one of the many pieces that are being added to it, and you can see there's just so much quality work on here, paint wise, sculpt wise. It's just awesome. Next, coming from Rhino Dioramas, if you haven't already, here comes the commercial. If you haven't already, make sure you're following them on Instagram and go to rhinodioramas.com for your 3D printed items as well as dioramas. They have some amazing talent, and like I said, they are also working with Sama Dioramas, and this is just a great looking piece. It's a Western style piece. There's some great detail. It's 1/6 scale for Bud Spencer figure. I don't know who Bud Spencer is, but if you didn't have Bud Spencer, you could certainly put any Western style or steampunk sort of action figure with this. There's really cool details. It's very clean but also dirty, if that makes sense. And some of the details that I noticed that are really cool, number one, this cow head, which looks real. I mean, that looks really good. Nice little frying pan. But look here on the boarded up window, you can see the nails sticking out and a little bit of weathering around that. That is awesome. The shovel with the little chunk knocked out of it. What a great looking piece. So awesome job. This one is coming from Demon House Design, and this piece really grabbed my eye. It is basically a recycled sort of piece, and oftentimes when it comes to dioramas, I really like when you guys take everyday pieces that you find around the house or whatever and repurpose them on your diorama. And this is taking use of an old motherboard from a computer. You can see a lot of the little components here. Here's a VGA, the VGA port, a whole bunch of little chips and whatnot. So you don't always have to sculpt everything. If you're looking for some great detail items, making sure that you're careful with this sort of stuff so that you're not cutting into maybe some toxic metals or whatever, but you can utilize little chipboards and what have you on space dioramas especially, and get some amazing detail. And that is what they have done. And then they added in some lights. They threw a couple of coats of paint on here to get it that nice kind of alien spaceship look. And now they've got this great looking piece that is going to definitely draw people's eyes when they come over to their house and see that up on a shelf. They're just going to be like, wow, that's amazing. Did you make that? Yeah. That is what makes this art so much fun. This next one is coming from an ordinary sim racer. And what do we got here? Finished. The first scratch-built model that they've made had to find balance between futuristic and Ridley Scott's depiction of the future in 1979, and they think they nailed it. Let them know in the comments if you think they nailed it. I think they did. This piece just looks awesome. The space deck looks, maybe it's not deck, it has that space feeling, and you really nailed that, especially with the lighting, the color tone, lots of great details on the walls and whatnot that gives it that space feel. You did a great job. I love these hoses, or it's kind of like a conduit pipe, and then you can see some of the wires coming through. Great looking piece. The glass tabletop, just very, very well done. I'm very impressed with this work you did. You did a great job. I think you nailed it. Hopefully those in the comments will also think you nailed it. This one is coming from the Shadow Gallery 718, Heroes for Hire, old school street fight quick shoot with a throwback diorama they did 2 years ago using one of their favorite Marvel team-ups. This looks awesome. I love the details on this piece. I think we may have showcased this. I can't remember. I just really like the picture. I wanted to showcase it and include it in here just because it's fun. That's part of the benefit of making these dioramas, is then you can pose your figures in front of them and it looks awesome. So great job. And last but not least, the godfather of dioramas, Al Figures. This is a sewer layer dio, completed 18 inches across, 12 inches tall, 11 inches deep. These pipes are the PVC piping that you can get at any hardware store or whatever, and they painted it up and looks to be maybe using sponge to get that weathered rust look. Looks awesome. Here it is without any paint on it, and with the paint. This looks so good. It's so clean and crisp looking with all the sculpt work. The bricks look awesome with the mortar. So awesome job on this piece. Great job to everybody. Over the last couple of weeks, I'm trying to catch up on the dios that I missed. I missed even more, so there's still tons of stuff if you want to go check out, and I suggest that you do go check out This Week in Dioramas hashtag on Instagram so you can see all the dios that I missed, but you'll be able to enjoy some amazing talent. So thank you to everybody who participates week in and week out. Alrighty, there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, and all that other crap. And I will see you in the next episode. Hopefully we'll have a guest soon with audio that works. Alright, there you have it. I will see you in the next episode.